Hey yo everyone! Helldivers 2 is incredible. Since its launch last month, the game has been going crazy viral online with an insane concurrent player count of over 400,000 players on PC alone. Right now, it's just on PS5 and PC, so sorry Xbox fans, but hopefully it will make its way over to you in the future because everyone deserves to try this game. Helldivers 2 is legitimately in the running for Game of the Year, and it's only March. The gaming industry has been in a bit of a crunch lately, so I wanted to highlight this beautiful ray of sunshine and why I think it proves a lot of haters wrong. Anyway, this is going to be a very casual, unprofessional video of me gushing over how much I love this game and why I think you should play it. If you enjoy the video, or aren't a traitor to Super Earth, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Alright, let's get it. I don't even know where to begin. It has been so long since I found a game that just sucks me in entirely. That's what she said. So just to throw this out there, I never played the first Helldivers game. To be honest, I don't even think I've ever heard of it until the sequel came out. I guess the original was more of a top-down shooter, and this entry is the first time they've switched to third person. And thank God that they did. The devs over at Arrowhead Game Studios are freaking angels. For 40 bucks, you can pick up this game and absolutely lose an entire weekend to it. The game clearly draws its inspiration from Starship Troopers in tone and setting, and to me, it fucking nails everything that it sets out to do. You're killing bugs, you're killing robots, you're a part of a fascist government, and you're one fucking badass motherfucker. So, the game. Essentially, there are two different factions you can fight. The bug Terminid colonies to the east, and the robot automatons to the west. Maybe as the game goes on, more factions will be added, but for now, it's a war on two fronts. Each faction has their own special missions and enemy variety. There are different planets for you to choose from where you can land to help liberate the planet in real time. It's kinda cool because you can see the progress being made from the players on the mission select screen. Once you land, you can call in these stratagems, which are basically like a class loadout by playing this D-pad minigame. It's pretty unique, and I'm surprised I haven't seen this before in other games. Then from here, the action begins. The missions are pretty fun, with a decently sized, procedurally generated map for you to explore, and each planet has its own quirks, from the weather to the foliage, so it's a pretty unique experience each time. Yeah, you can just do the main mission stuff and then call in your extract, but if you spend the time to do optional stuff, such as blowing up extra bug nests or opening an abandoned bunker or something, you can earn additional rewards, like ribbons for the battle pass or super credits, the in-game currency. The gameplay loop is relatively simple, but it's addicting. Different planets have different variables, like I said, and depending on the day, sometimes the game will have modifiers active, such as a magnetic storm or something that will scramble stratagem coordinates. Because of this, even though the objectives may be reused throughout the game, each match is different because of the modifiers or because of the stratagems you decide to use on that particular run. And you gotta watch out for them stratagems. Friendly fire is always on in this game, and I love it. It just adds to the chaos and can make matches even more intense knowing that the airstrike you just called in could potentially eliminate your entire squad if you're not careful. It makes for some funny, if not frustrating, interactions with your friends. One last thing, the difficulty. It starts out relatively manageable, but as you progress and unlock harder difficulties, it gets pretty insane. From the sheer volume of enemies to crazy boss fights, this game knows how to beat you up if you're not prepared. Seriously, level up before jumping into the higher difficulties. One of my favorite parts about this game is just how seemingly polished it feels and the presence of tiny details. Like, the small things in here go a long way. For starters, there's no way I would have guessed this game wasn't done by a huge AAA studio. What Arrowhead has done here is nothing short of amazing. The controls are good, the co-op is well done, there's a surprising amount of depth, the lore is fun, the battle pass is fairly reasonable, it's a live service game, and the music better win at the Game Awards because it literally is my favorite thing about the game.
Launch initiated.
But the small stuff is what really puts this game in the S tier for me. The presentation is some of the best I've ever seen in a game. From seeing your ship realign above a planet before the start of a mission to exiting your space pod covered in frost from joining a friend's game, or even the fact that your ordnances will come in at an angle depending on where on the planet you're located. The small details in here they showcase how much love was put into this game. Some of this stuff isn't really necessary at all, yet having them in here turns this game from being great to being an actual early game of the year candidate. This game, it does a million things right, but like anything else, it isn't perfect. Some of the movement can be a little jank, most likely because this game is pretty different from the original, so I suppose some growing pains are to be expected. The dive mechanic is really fun and adds for some cinematic moments, but I really wish there was a dedicated jump button because sometimes the procedurally generated worlds can get a little messy. Another unfortunate part of the game, like any live service game, is that it always needs to be online. This is bad for video game preservation, but that's a conversation for another day. Also, yes, you can play the game solo, but to be honest, I don't think it's nearly as fun when you're playing alone. The game is definitely enhanced by joining a squad. Performance-wise, I think it's been decent. I haven't heard many complaints from my friends on PlayStation, but my PC has had some frame rate dips, especially when there's a large amount of enemies and ordnances raining down from the sky, but then again, that could just be my PC. I don't really know how to optimize stuff at all, if I'm being honest. There were also some pretty terrible server queue times when the game first launched, but I completely understand why. The studio had mentioned that Helldivers 1 never eclipsed more than 7,000 concurrent players, so the sudden jump to over 400,000 wasn't exactly expected. That being said, they did add in a hotfix that would boot players out if they were AFK for 15 minutes, which has basically eliminated queue times. And honestly, that might be the best thing about this game. I can't remember the last time a studio was this responsive to feedback, and for a lack of a better phrase, fucking awesome. For example, let's talk about the Battle Pass. Yeah, this gimmick is starting to get old, especially when you already have to pay for the game, but I'm a bit more lenient on the Helldivers Battle Pass, and here's why. For one, you can find the currency needed to purchase the pass on missions, so it's completely possible to get the pass without spending an additional cent. Secondly, the free Battle Pass is loaded with great stuff. The premium pass is just a little bit of extra gravy. Third, the game is PvE. There isn't really any sort of competitive advantage to the unlocks because you're playing co-op. And lastly, the microtransactions are reasonable. Obviously, microtransactions in general are terrible, but you know what you're getting with Helldivers 2. Like, there aren't any sort of loot boxes or hidden garbage. What you pay for is what you get. The devs have been pretty straightforward about all of this, and in 2024, maybe that's all you can ask for. Look, Helldivers 2 is incredible, and in a lot of ways, exactly what the gaming community needed. A $40 banger with deep gameplay, a unique tone, and tons of fun with friends. I won't lie to you, lately things have been kind of bad in the gaming industry. Hundreds of people have lost their jobs, some studios have been made to churn out soulless live service games, and frankly, spring is usually a quiet time for releases. Helldivers 2 is like a beacon of hope though. It's a small studio who quietly went to work and released a finished product that was clearly fueled by passion and a love for the IP. The studio head even frequently addresses players online with any questions or concerns. One that stood out to me the most is someone asking if there would ever be a PvP mode, and guys, I freaking love this response. Hey, we'll never add a PvP mode. This is to reduce toxic elements from the community. We want an environment that's supportive, fun, and where we all are fighting on the same side. I love this so much. A game where everyone is on the same side, spreading democracy throughout the known universe. We don't need a battle royale or any sort of modern day gimmick for this game to succeed. Helldivers 2 is on the right path. And that's kind of where I wanted to end this video, talking about how we needed this as a community. Something that brings us together because honestly, it's been a while since us gamers have had something like this. My TikTok For You page is just full of cinematic moments and memes of this game, and I can't get enough of it. With all the layoffs and disappointing sales of big games, people have been murmuring about a possible gaming recession, but the success of Helldivers 2 proves that the problem isn't the industry, it's the games themselves. This game is living proof that the gaming industry is not dead, not even close. People will buy games if they are good. Good games will be rewarded with our time and our money. When people say there just aren't any good games out there or gaming is going down the drain, point them towards Helldivers 2. But I want to know what you guys think. Have you been playing Helldivers 2? What do you think of the game? Do you like squashing bugs or spilling oil more? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks again for sticking around for this more casual video. I appreciate you guys as always, and I will catch you on the next one.